Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am going to take you through a great cool down and stretch routine that you can do after any workout. So it's great if your body is already warm, so that way you can really sink into each stretch and really let your muscles relax and release. So all you need is a mat and yourself, and let's cool down. Let's start by lying down onto your back and extend your arms overhead, stretching your legs long. Just trying to get a little bit of length through the body, and if you're out of breath, try to bring that breath back down into your belly and into your rib cage and into your back. Taking a nice big 360-degree breath. Then release your arms back in and bend your knees. Go ahead and bring that right knee into your chest. If you can, extend that left leg long. And then we're going to reach that right leg over to your left. Right arm extends out to the side and look to your right. So you're looking away from the knee. Do your best to keep both shoulders on the floor and just enjoy that rotation and release into the lower back. Bring that knee back in, into center, give a little hug, and change it over. So if you need to bend the other knee in, just so you feel more comfortable in your pelvis, that's absolutely fine. And if you can extend it out, go for it. Let's take your left knee over to the right this time and look to your left. Do your best to keep both shoulders on the mat. Just gently pressing your left knee towards the floor. And then bring it back through center. Hug those knees in again. And then just tuck your chin to your chest and give yourself a little rock and roll forward and back, just to massage your spine into your mat. And then roll yourself all the way up. Flip yourself around, and then let's come up to your knees. We're going to step your right foot forward, and then we're going to drop the hips forward and then tuck the tailbone under. Reach those arms up overhead, opening up through the chest, the collarbones. And then we're going to bend your left elbow, grab onto it with your right hand and lift it up and over to your right. So you're getting a nice tricep stretch and a nice stretch down the left side of the body, opening up through the rib cage. This will also help to deepen that left hip flexor stretch and down through the psoas. And bring it back through center, release those arms. Send your hips back as you lengthen that front leg, then hinge forward with a flat back. To go deeper, bring your hands down to the floor. Then pull your right hip back to level out those hips. Inhale and then exhale and try to go a little bit deeper into your stretch. And then bring your hand inside that leg, sweep that leg around. From 4-point kneeling here, you're going to tuck your toes and lift your hips up to the ceiling, giving yourself a nice little paddle out through your heels, lengthening out through your hamstrings and your calves. Release your shoulders away from your ears so your neck is long. Press those shoulders towards your hips. And then from here, we're just going to take a spinal wave. So I want you to first ripple through your upper back, middle back, to release your chest forward here, drawing those abs in and up so you don't just sink into the lower back. Then send your hips back up to the ceiling. Then go ahead and ripple through your upper back, middle back, and then press your chest forward. Good, then let's do one more. And then send your hips back up, downward facing dog. Pedal your heels to the floor as you walk your feet back into center so your feet come together. Now we're going to reach that right foot up to the ceiling, take it into 3-leg downward dog, and then look underneath your right shoulder. Keep reaching that right toe a little bit higher and give yourself a nice little twist. Feel free to bend that knee. Keep twisting so you can release into that right hip flexor a little bit more into the side of the body. Stretch that leg back up and unwind the body so you feel square again. Bend that right knee and bring it forward in between your hands and come down into a pigeon pose. Come down to your forearms if you can, and feel free to give yourself a little rock side to side, breathing into any spots that feel a little tight and a little stiff. Hold it in there. And then when you're ready, push back up onto your hands, slide that leg back, drop the knees down, and then roll yourself back up into your kneeling position to step your left foot forward. Tuck that tailbone under and release here into that hip flexor stretch. Arms reach up to the ceiling, opening up through your chest. This time you bend your right elbow, draw it down and back, and then lift up and over to your left. Open up through the right side of the rib cage and release into that right tricep. Go ahead and unwind the body, hands down, send your hips back, lengthening that front leg, hinge forward at your hips, lengthening out to that left hamstring. Hands can come down to the floor to go deeper, and then do your best to pull that left hip back to level out and square off your hips, deepening that hamstring stretch. Inhale and exhale to go a little deeper. Then bring your hand inside that foot, swing that leg around, bring it back into 4-point kneeling, tuck the toes, hips up to the ceiling, go ahead and pedal out your heels. Again, just lengthening through those hamstrings and calves. And then let's ripple through the spine, rippling your upper back and middle back to release your chest forward, sending those hips back up. Hopefully you feel a little bit more fluid on the second set of waves, working through those sticky spots in the spine. And last one, to push those hips back up to downward facing dog. Just pedal those heels out as you walk your feet back in and bring those feet together. This time, you're going to reach that left toe up to the ceiling, 3-legged downward dog. Hold it here in this nice stretch. Breathing into it, lengthening out that right hamstring. Then see if you can take your eye line underneath your left shoulder here, giving yourself a nice little twist. If you'd like, go ahead and bend that left knee, opening up into that hip flexor a little bit more and through the left side of the body. And then bring that leg back up to the ceiling and unwind the body, square it back off. Then bend your left knee, sweep it forward through to your hands and come down into your pigeon pose. See if you can come down into your forearms as well to deepen that stretch. And if you like, you can give a little rock side to side. Good, then from here, we're just gonna lift up onto your hands to slide that other leg back, drop the knees down carefully, and lower yourself all the way down onto your front. Arms reach out to the side, so you're in a T shape. You're going to bend your left knee, lift that left thigh off the floor, and roll it over to your right hand. So from here, we're gonna open up to the chest, the shoulders, you're gonna reach that left hand up to the ceiling. A nice big scorpion stretch here. I love this one, it opens up through the whole front of the body. And then release that hand back down, unwind it, and we'll change legs. Bend that right knee, lift that right thigh, and then roll your right toe around to your left hand and reach that right hand up to the ceiling. Opening up the chest, the collarbones, the shoulders. That left shoulder that presses into the mat really feels a nice deep stretch through that front deltoid. And then bring that hand back down to the floor and unwind through your body. Hands under shoulders to push yourself all the way back up. Let's come into a little seated position here. Let's take our straddle stretch. So go ahead and reach your toes to the corners of your mat. Then you're just going to walk your hands forward. So we're just trying to release into those adductors. They can get very tight, especially as we sit too much nowadays. And this is one of those stretches that people tend to avoid, so don't shy away from it. Breathe into it. It doesn't matter if you're up here, but all I want you to think about is trying to keep your knees pointing up to the ceiling, and gradually you can start to walk your hands further forward. It might not be there today, but the more we can just release into it, you can continue to walk your hands forward. walk your hands back in. Bring yourself back up, swing that leg around. We're gonna come into 4-point kneeling to come into an angry cat and cow stretch. So just make sure your hands are under shoulders, knees under hips. I want you to tuck that tailbone under, round through the spine, scoop that belly in and up as you drop your chin to your chest, and inhale to release and look forward to cow, extending through those abdominals, drawing the shoulders down and back. And again, exhale, scoop the belly in and up, dropping your chin to your chest, tucking that tailbone under, drawing those shoulder blades apart. Inhale to release and look forward to cow, lengthening those abdominals, sliding those shoulders down and back. Just a few more here. Bring it back into neutral, and then I want you to just look from one side to the other, trying to see if you can wag your tail side to side. Bring it back into neutral, tuck your toes, hips up to the ceiling one more time, downward facing dog. Just go ahead and pedal those heels to the floor one last time as you walk your hands into your toes this time. Hold it here in this forward fold. Soften those knees a little bit and take your hands behind your lower back, interlace those fingers and reach them up to the ceiling, opening up through your chest and collarbones. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale, release those hands down to the floor. Soften those knees more to tuck the tailbone under. Scoop the belly in and up as you roll yourself all the way back up to standing, restacking your spine one vertebra at a time. Head comes up last. And then if you just stand with your feet underneath your sit bones, I want you to reach your hands up to the ceiling and just drop everything forward. Just letting your body naturally realign itself however it wants to move. Just let your body fall forward. Let it go. Take a big sigh out. And bring it back in and up. Open those arms and release your hands down. Well done, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that cool down and stretch. Let me know how you got on in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for full-length exclusive workouts, you can find me over on Patreon. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, guys.